is every beachgoer's nightmare, the cold-blooded carnivore known as the great white shark. But believe it or not, there are divers who actually seek out the sharks. Call it the ultimate underwater experience. And along the coast of California, these thrill seekers are scaring the daylights out of those who prefer to view the sharks from afar. Here's John Scott.
The great white shark, silent savage of our nightmares, lurks just beneath the ocean's surface.
Let's just put it up on edge.
And on that ocean, under cover of darkness, John Capella and his crew work quickly. Capella is concerned. He knows there are people who want to shut down his operation, which brings divers face to face with great white sharks. He hides the shark cages from prying eyes.
Coastal ray forecast for Point Pinos to Point Sal.
And the expedition heads out to sea in search of the ocean's most feared predator.
Down, get it down, get it down, get it down!
The following morning, Capella struggles to set his shark cages off a point on the central California coast called Año Nuevo.
I don't want to fall in with those great whites, you know?
For divers and camera crews, including Dateline, Capella charges $1,000 per person for 3 days at sea and the chance to stare down a great white shark.
From a diver's perspective, conditions out here are miserable. The water is choppy and the temperature a bone-chilling 54 degrees. Visibility is only 10 to 15 feet, so there's really nothing to see. The only reason these divers have come out here is that they hope to encounter the great white shark, and there are no guarantees.
Before Capella, divers wanting to get close to a great white were forced to pay 10 times as much for trips to Australia or South Africa. So how does Capella attract the great whites? Chum, an unsightly and vile-smelling concoction of ground-up fish, is gradually added to the water to entice the sharks. In the process, he's creating a firestorm of controversy, because on each trip he's dumping more than 2,000 pounds of chum into the waters of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, just a mile and a half from the nearest surfing beach.
Sharks are known to attack people when they're hungry. Capella, by using his chum, sounds the dinner bell to the sharks.
Tim Loomis of the Surfers Environmental Alliance is outraged.
He's conditioning them to respond to a stimulus. At the end of the stimulus, when the sharks come up, every time they follow that chum scent, that slick scent, what do they see at the end of the line? Surfers, or people in wetsuits. And I do not, for one, want to be sampled by a great white shark.
Año Nuevo is an ominous marker of California's red triangle. Draw a line from Año Nuevo to Bodega Bay, onto the Farallon Islands, and back to Año Nuevo. In these waters over the last 20 years, there have been more great white shark attacks than anywhere else in the world. Since 1952, sharks have attacked 69 people along the California coast, and 7 of those victims died.
This is almost ready.
But all those attacks happened before John Capella started chumming these shark-filled waters.
Good God, that guy is huge.
And on his very first great white charter, Capella delivered, giving the divers on board the experience of a lifetime.
Tell me all about it.
Big, silver, mean looking though.
Really?
Teeth out. Oh man.
Surfers were livid, convinced Capella was endangering their lives by chumming too close to shore, and were astounded to learn he was also using cow's blood and lamb legs to lure the great whites.
Hey, he's a meat eater, man. He wants that stuff.
But now, partly as a concession to his opponents,
No mammal blood.
No mammal blood.
The sharks come to the waters off Año Nuevo because their favorite food comes here as well, seals and sea lions. The largest of these, the elephant seal, can weigh more than 4,000 pounds. And for a great white shark, that's dinner.
Woo-hoo!
Capella refuses to accept the suggestion that he's endangering anyone, especially those who choose to surf in one of the great white's prime hunting grounds.
I am not providing any additional risk to anybody If they are using that area, they are definitely jeopardizing their lives.
But the surfers don't see it that way. To them, Capella is unnecessarily increasing the odds of attack in a place where they are already particularly vulnerable.
Surfers certainly are at risk wherever there are sharks.
John McCosker, a marine biologist specializing in sharks at San Francisco's Steinhardt Aquarium, is convinced that chumming increases the danger already present for surfers.
What is it about guys with surfboards and bodyboards that puts them at risk?
Short, very maneuverable surfboards and belly boards have made our profile, as seen from below, that is the white shark's point of view, look a lot like an elephant seal. And it rushes up and takes a big bite out of it and discovers that we weren't an elephant seal.
I looked at my leg and I could see the shark had basically consumed my entire left leg in its mouth.
In 1991, Eric Larson was attacked by a 16-foot great white. He'd been surfing just 10 miles south of the seal colonies at Año Nuevo. Larson nearly died on that beach. Surfing and scuba diving remain an important part of Eric Larson's life, and he is dead set against Capella chumming for great whites.
I think it's purely a case of someone who's making some money, and he's doing it in a way that puts other people at an unnecessary risk.
But surfers are not the only ones determined to stop Capella. Kayakers, windsurfers, and abalone divers also see him as a threat to their safety.
I think it's wrong, and I don't think they ought to do it.
Rodney Orr is an avid abalone diver.
But the sharks are in the water already anyway.
Yeah, but he's conditioning them.
Orr has been attacked, not once, but twice, by great white sharks.
And all of a sudden, bam, and he had me in the head right like this. It buried the bottom teeth into my face on the side, and the top teeth were in the back of my neck. All I heard was a crunch when he went through my face.
Capella envisions as many as 20 trips a year up and down the California coast. That thought incenses Tim Loomis, who fears John Capella's operation is only the beginning.
It would create a huge backlash of people wanting to, hey, I'll make a quick buck. Screw the people out here, screw the system, screw the whole ecosystem. I want to make money.
Since when is it wrong in America to make a buck? But more importantly, I'm trying to provide something for people.
Capella says he is providing a way to educate people about this essential predator.
Got a shark out there now.
Despite his best efforts with chum and seal-shaped lures, Capella cannot always come through. On this trip, no sharks. But Capella won't be deterred.
1, 2, 3.
And he will be back. To those who say he is a menace, Capella says, don't blame him. It's the surfers who are serving themselves up to the sharks.
There is going to be a shark attack on a surfer. If they continue to recreate in that area, they're asking for it.
Capella's opponents are asking the federal government to step in to stop him. But Capella says he'll go to court to fight any new rules and even force a confrontation at sea if he has to.
Coming up.